We are talking free stuff again. Yes, government subsidies are one of the biggest issues in our modern democracy, in our government. And we're going to tie it in today to our adulterated democracy and a key component of it, which is majority rule. Majority rule and government subsidies. Once upon a time, English philosopher John Locke said a government had a simple, small role: protect our life, liberty, and property. Life, don't let me get killed. Liberty, protect my freedoms. And property, don't let people steal my stuff. Then Thomas Jefferson turned that into life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. He did not see the pursuit of happiness evolving into what it is today, which is free stuff. A giant government doing the free stuff, the subsidies, the pursuit of happiness, promoting the general welfare as stated in the preamble of our Constitution. Promoting the general welfare, that means give us free stuff? Yep. The pursuit of happiness means the government's supposed to give us free stuff? Well, if that's what we decide through majority rule. Now, again, as we always know, there's no such thing as a free lunch. There's no free stuff. There's a cost to everything. There are no solutions, only trade-offs. If we are to provide free stuff, there are consequences, not just the cost, but they can also be psychological, which we'll get into. So there are problems with democracy. Nothing is perfect. We use majority rule, so whoever gets the most gets what they want. And unfortunately, in modern America, getting what we want is not necessarily protecting our life, liberty, and property. It is getting what we want as a government that provides us more of the subsidies, gives us more of the benefits. And then there's going to be losers. And that's what we have each day, is a fight. Now, some people vote for rights. And some people will say that body rights or freedom of speech rights, or even some people will discuss the issues of global wars. But at the end of the day, many people are voting, and even those people are voting for, give me, I'm going to get mine. I want to make sure my side wins so that we get the benefits so that me and my family and my community live a better life. Can't really fault them. That is a system. That is democracy. It's not perfect. It's not beautiful. Maybe we should have less democracy. That might be an unpopular take. But if our modern democracy exists simply to get more free stuff, then we have to admit, or at least have a conversation about maybe this isn't the best situation. Let's explore that further. Voting is sacred. How dare you say less democracy? Well, again, if we are saying a democracy is simply today not life, liberty, and property, it is using your vote to get more free stuff, then how sacred is that? If we're using our vote simply just to be the winners and not the losers, the recipients of the dole, the gimme, and pay less taxes, but get the money back, then how sacred is that? Now, again, perfect is the enemy of good. This might be the best system we can possibly have as a democracy with majority rule, especially in a nation of 330 million people. This may be the best we can do. So there is no real reason to blow up the ship and try over. This might be the best that you're going to get. It's always something to remember. Oftentimes, when you try to do things perfect in life, be it through a democracy, running a government, or any situation that you're in, you often fail to do anything. Sometimes you just have to accept good is enough and try to do your best, not spread yourself too thin. Let's go back to the other day, talking more about the theoretical discussion of free stuff. If we had a society all free, we had a society where nothing is free. And let's compare and contrast the two and try to decide which one we want to live in. In the all-free society, everything's free. You don't have to work. Cool. You can be lazy. That's actually kind of nice. This is an exaggeration of the slovenliness that might happen, or it could happen. But we will all admit we would love to have more free time, social time, spend time with family and friends, and not have to work all the time. In a society where nothing is free, you got to work. You got to work hard. It's a very productive economy. But again, you got to work. Problem with the all free is if no one's working, there's not going to be any stuff. So theoretically, it doesn't work. And in reality, if you were to have an all free society, it wouldn't work either. The only one that actually can work in reality is everybody's got to work. So that seems like the place that we want to live. Yeah, we all got to work, but we'll be productive. We'll create products and be able to live and survive. So we got to go this way, right? Well, the issue with that, again, no solutions, only trade-offs. That some people can't work. What will we do for those people? Just ignore them, let them die, let them suffer. Those who don't work don't eat in the biblical sense or in the Jamestown sense. Well, our society today disagrees with that. And so there are trade-offs. If you want to all work, then some people will fall through the cracks. There are costs. There are no solutions, only trade-offs. So in the end, we are going to have to give out some free stuff. So how will we play this out? Well, obviously the government that we elect is going to pick out who gets the free stuff. And it's not as random as eeny, meeny, miny, mo, but they are picking the winners and picking the losers. And if the Democrats are in control of the government, then they are going to pick the winners, and the winners are more often going to be the Democrats, and the losers are going to be Republicans. You can flip this on the other way. Republicans will support Republican people, Republican causes, Republican-leaning firms, Republican donors, just the way that it works. And then if we just rewind this to its root, who picked those Democrats? You used your vote to pick the Democrats so that you would receive the government subsidies. That is our democracy. Is that very sacred? Be honest with yourself. When you're making decisions, you want a government that's going to not necessarily make laws out of principle, make rules and regulations out of principle and constitutional beliefs, but more often than not, you want to make sure that the new laws on the books, or the laws that get changed, favor you, and you are a winner. That is democracy today. Let's go a little bit further and talk about free stuff subsidies that you are voting for and some of the costs that come along with them. They're not just the spoils, right? The rewards of free stuff, the subsidies. Let's go beyond the discussion on spoils and the spoil system, using your vote to get your way. But how does this psychologically affect the behaviors of Americans? So when you get stuff for free, it affects you. Basically, saying free and not paying for something is saying that this thing has no value, right? If it is free, it technically has no value. Now, whether or not you completely devalue that product and see it as worthless, you are going to see whatever you receive as free as being less valuable than if you paid for it. And you're going to operate as such. You're going to behave in a manner with that product that is different than if you had to pay for it. You're going to use it differently because it's free. It has no value. It has less value to you rather than if you paid for it, because then it would have value. And I'll give you a case example. Been to a birthday party? I hope that everyone has been to a birthday party. I apologize if you've never been invited to a birthday party. If you haven't, you have a birthday every year. Throw a birthday party. Invite people over. Buy a bunch of cake, ice cream, drinks, cupcakes. Go all out. And you've probably been there and seen it. What happens at the end of the party? There's tons of waste. There's tons of, oh, you sound like an old man. Look, I'm just trying to make a point. At the end, there's tons of half-eaten cakes. That last slice of cake that you got, knowing that there's only 5 minutes left in the birthday party, you knew you were only going to eat a couple pieces of that cake. And you're going to leave it there, and they're going to have to clean it up. It's wasteful. And the only reason you did is because it's free. You weren't paying for it. If you had to pay for each slice of cake, you would only get what you wanted. There would be little waste. But in this case, it's all free, and so you don't even eat everything. A lot of this food goes to waste. How much money could have been saved if people had to pay? We're going to pay at birthday parties. But either way, think about the person who threw the party, how much money they spent, and how much of the products that they purchased, cakes and ice creams, actually were used. It's wasteful. It's different when you have to pay. You go to the convenience store, you buy a soda, you're likely to consume all of that soda because you value that soda. You don't want to waste that soda. And with many of your products, you consume them, you get the most bang for the buck. It's more efficient, it's less wasteful. Let's go further into this idea. Yes, it's wasteful and not great for the environment, but it's going to be even worse for an economy because it's not an efficient use of dollars. Dollars are being spent on things that are not going to use. Let's look at our prime example of the free school lunch. If you have ever been to a free school lunch, then you have seen this. When you receive things free, you don't value them as much. You don't value that meal as much as if you had to go and pay $20 at Texas Roadhouse or Chipotle or Chick-fil-A. You likely eat all of that. Had to pay for it, you value it, you consume it, you get your bang for your buck. All money is used efficiently. Free stuff, school lunch, you've seen it before. How much food goes to waste every day, every year? Just tossed straight into the trash can. Burning money. All that food was paid for, and all that food was consumed. Could we have possibly consumed less? So again, environmentally it's bad, but let's go deeper and explore the economics of government subsidies, which you vote for with your democracy and your majority rule. We are burning money when we do this. No, we're not. We're just throwing food away. It's just waste. It's fine. It'll decompose. Everything will be good. It's going to build a tree someday. This is not an efficient use of money. And the less efficient use of money in our economy means a less efficient economy, less productive economy, a less strong nation. Let's say there are 500 lunches served in a school day. How much of that is getting thrown away? Let's calculate the waste and say, well, actually only 300 lunches were eaten when we subtract all the things that got tossed. Well, the government still paid for 500 lunches, although only 300 really got consumed. Or your tax dollars paid for 500 lunches today and every day. That's 200 lunches worth of waste. How much money does that calculate every year? Well, let's just run a kind of scientific experiment. 200 lunches. Let's say it's $2, pretty cheap. 180 days. That's $72,000 a year. Just throwing it in the trash. Throwing $72,000 of tax dollars in the trash. It is not an efficient use of money. So it is not only wasteful environmentally, but we are, by using government subsidies and having a free stuff nation that affects us psychologically, we are inefficiently using tax dollars. We are inefficiently using money that could be spent otherwise in other parts of the economy, helping the economy grow, create jobs and opportunities for all Americans. Not only that, if we could find a way, maybe there's a way, to be more efficient and less wasteful, not affect people psychologically. If we get this down that we make 300, we serve 300, your tax dollars would go down. And even if we didn't lose the tax dollars or lower the taxes because we become more efficient at school lunches, because we found a way around free stuff and navigate it, which we can possibly do, even if we didn't lower taxes, we could take that money, buy 300 lunches, take the 72,000, put it into other projects, or maybe more efficient government programs, if there is such a thing. So we don't want to burn money. Now, what's an efficient economy look like? An efficient economy is survival of the fittest. Only the strong survive. The best businesses go on and get better and compete, and weak businesses die, fail, and the skin is cleared away, the dust is cleared away. We clear out the bad businesses. So you have money, and then we have, in this economy, this free market, a strong business that you support. You buy their products, and they compete for your dollars every day with other firms, and even with bad firms. They compete to get that dollar. And as they compete, they get stronger, better, more innovative. And then we have bad businesses that lose in the competition. They don't receive your dollars, and they are cleared away. The waste, the unproductive parts of our economy are cleared away like dead cells in the body. And by you consistently purchasing products and making the decision to support good businesses, and they're good businesses because they are competing and convincing you, they grow, get better, and we have an economy filled with strong blood cells. And the bad blood cells are cleared away, they die off because you decided not to purchase their goods, they failed, they're gone. We have a survival of the fittest economy, strong, efficient economy. That is a free market. Everyone is competing. Only the best businesses live, and we get an economy filled with best businesses. The bad cells, the bad firms, the bad sectors of our economy clear away. They die out. Very good. What about a market that's not free? A mixed economy. It has some free market elements, but also has the government intervention. So you, with your dollars, again, are making decisions on which companies to support, and through that, the best businesses thrive and get better every day. But what about these other firms? What about these other sectors of the economy? What about these government agencies that are consistently supported? So we get a pretty strong economy still with you supporting businesses, but we also have another part of the economy that is supported by government funding, government subsidies, free stuff, your tax dollars. They are not in competition. They will always receive this money. There is no incentive for them to get better. In the free market on the left, only the strong survive. They have to compete every day to get that dollar, to stay in business, to grow. Whereas these government agencies or firms that are supported by government subsidies, they don't have to compete. It's not a matter of the strongest survive. They don't have to get better every day. And so we also get parts of the economy that are inefficient, that may slow down our economy. Now, in some cases, these things are absolutely necessary and you just can't get rid of them. But we want less of them. We want fewer inefficient parts of our economy. But that's what happens when you use your vote to vote for government subsidies to get the free stuff. So then we have a bunch of the free stuff things constantly out in the economy, absorbing dollars, taking dollars away from you, mind you. So these dollars that the government are spending are dollars that you can't spend. And when you spend dollars, you make the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the strong economy. You use your dollars wisely. You use your dollars efficiently, just like that soda. When you went to the convenience store, you make purchases. You consume the products. You don't waste. It's efficient. We get a strong economy. Well, now you have fewer dollars because the government's taking those dollars to support parts of the economy that are not efficient, that are psychologically seen as free stuff that lead to more waste and inefficient use of dollars. Now, you do in part have a sacred vote. Again, democracy is not perfect, but let's look at another sacred way of looking at voting. Well, actually, before we do that, let's maybe say that it's not sacred. Let's play this one out. Before we get to me defending your vote, let's take away. If you're simply using this sacred thing to get more free stuff, how sacred really is it? How special is it? How dare you say that? Just having a conversation. Look, you want to vote to stop war? That seems pretty sacred. You want to use your vote to protect life, liberty, property, the pursuit of happiness, as long as that pursuit of happiness is not free stuff, then yeah, that seems pretty sacred. But if you're simply voting so that your side gets the government handouts, so that you're the winner, is that great? And all said and done, not to shame you for I always want free stuff, your vote is also going towards creating a more inefficient economy. The more that you vote for free stuff, the more free stuff is out there, the less competition, and we create an economy that is not very productive.